Hey guys, so welcome to another episode of Exploring the North, and we found ourselves today in a little town called Richmond, a market town over in North Yorkshire on the River Swale, not too far outside of Darlington. Yeah, a popular town where people come to enjoy the shops, have a walk around, the bars, the restaurants, the bakeries, and also have fun in the river. There's ice cream shops, there's lots to do here. And one of the biggest, or if not the biggest, cobbled market square in England. Look at it, amazing. Yeah, so we actually parked just outside the village, down near the station car park. There was a lot of parking available there. It was about £3 for 4 hours, I think, so not too bad. But there is parking available closer to the village as well, down by the little ice cream parlour we've just shown you there, and there's a public toilets there too. Yeah, it does seem a little dearer here though. The walk over from the station car park was a pleasant one. We went over Mercury Bridge, then went through a bit of a park area, over towards Richmond Falls. This was an interesting fact about the River Swale. It's said to be one of the fastest flowing rivers, or the fastest flowing river in England. It's a little bit more information about the source of it there, and here's a little map of Richmond Centre, including the famous castle, which was home to the Richmond 16, I think it was called, conscientious objectors that got stuck in there. But as we can see, it's situated on the River Swale. We're here, we're going to go up here. It's supposed to be an artisan market today, so I think we've come on a good day, and it's going to be good to see what's there. I do hope you're fit though, because it's pretty hilly in Richmond. Yeah, so we can now see Richmond Castle coming into view. Now this is supposed to be one of the best preserved 11th century Norman castles in England, I think. But yeah, what a lovely castle, eh? You can actually do tours of it. Yeah, apparently built by a friend of William the Conqueror's from about 1071 onwards. You can see some people up at the top there as well. The Richmond 16, by the way, were 16 conscientious objectors who refused military service in 1916 and got held in the castle. That's some view of it there, isn't it? I think the tower was a later addition, is it? I'm sure I read that online. There's also a couple of museums here. I think a military museum and another one as well. I think this might be one of them. Oh no, that's the market hall, look. There's also a really good fish and chip shop. We've been there in the past. One went on a holiday in the area. And plenty of good pubs to enjoy. A nice pub meal in as well, or just a beer in the beer garden. Yeah, there's another pub there, look. And we get a vision here of it's supposed to be one of the largest cobbled market squares in England. We can see on busy days it does get very popular, doesn't it? With the artisan market going on today. But look, it's absolutely massive. Look at all these cobbles. Lovely. A little bit more information on the parking on the sets in the town and where to get that disc. There are lots of little gift shops here as well, artisan style gift shops, but you've got your chains as well, like your Costas, Greggs, all that sort of stuff, so you can get a reasonably priced meal as well. I think this is, what do they call this again? Let us know in the comments what this is called.
I decided to get a nice, pretty large cheese scone from one of the Artisan stalls, which looks lovely. And then we just treat ourselves to some organic Greek honey, and it tastes really different actually. This one, when he gave us a little sample, it's fir honey from bees around the fir tree, so it's yeah, really unusual but lovely.
Good customer service.
Yeah, he was really lovely, nice guy. Yeah, we'll definitely look out for him at other markets.
So even outside of the town centre, they've still got all these cobbles. Look at these streets, they're amazing. I just saw some sort of operatic theatre down here. Yeah, look at that, the Richmond Operatic Society, founded 1922. Look at what it overlooks. Yeah, just outside the main centre we've got more pubs and bespoke little shops, look. And in these very old towns, look, you always get these funny little street names, don't you? Bargate, and they're always very medieval, aren't they? You can see from, this is called the Book. This old pub here, I was hoping to see a year over the door. It's famous for its Georgian and Victorian architecture. We can see that in the windows here, can't we? Window cleaner's nightmare. Looks like an old police station here, doesn't it? Well, obviously with the sign, but I just noticed this little plaque. 1558, look. Seems to be a little bit of a food area here, although that is a hairdresser's pub and a traditional family butcher's. That's a funny combo, isn't it? Yorkshire and Mediterranean restaurant. Another funny street name there, look, Friars Wynd, and that's approaching, so this is a Georgian Theatre Royale. I think it's built in 1788, and it's Britain's oldest, still in its fully original form, theatre. So there's a lot of like, oldest, fastest, you know, there's lots of history to this place, like oldest theatre, fastest river, biggest cobbled market square. There's so much going on in Richmond, isn't there? More pubs, look. You can see why it's a popular stop-off place for the coast-to-coast Wainwright walk as well. It's about halfway along that 100-mile route, so a lot of people stay here and yeah, enjoy what they can on their stop-off from the Wainwright coast-to-coast walk. So there's a lot to offer Richmond. This looks intriguing as well. Friary Gardens park area. No dogs though. Yeah, we can see here as well. So Richmond has good access to sort of Darlington. It's close to there. There's bus access, I think. A bit of a map of the town again. But not only Darlington, you've got Catterick nearby, and I think there's good links in from Ripon and places as well, so it's a good place to come and visit. And here's a few, well, you've got your English Heritage website there as well, but a bit more information on the castle, the date it was born, how tall it is, the Georgian Theatre, the station, information centre, the town hall, built in 1756, look. And then the marketplace itself, which I think, like it says, weekly Saturday market, and then sometimes ones in midweek and special events like we've got today with the Artisan market. Indoor Victorian Market Hall is open every day. We're actually going to walk here today as well. There's a short, I think it's about a mile long walk along the river, quite easy apparently. It takes you to the ruins of Easby Abbey. It's 12th century ruins, but they're not completely ruined, it's still quite intact, so that should be an interesting walk. Apparently there's a cafe halfway along. That's still Easby Abbey we're talking about. We've got a few museums here as well, look. So I just thought it was a great little board this to show you all the little things you can do while you're here. Exploring Richmond. Cullendon Tower dates back 1746. And here we've got a lot more information on the Georgian theatre, look. Built in 1788 by Samuel Butler. A lot more information for you to read there. I do think Richmond became a little bit more famous recently. Oh look, florist there, look, my wife will like that. Kitchen and gift shop. But yeah, I do think Richmond became a little bit more famous a couple of years ago because of Rishi Sunak, didn't it? It was famously his home constituency. The former UK Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. I think it is still his constituency. I think. Yeah, and my relatives have said that it can be seen out and about in the constituency as well. It's a nice view of the town centre, isn't it? Looks like it could be a good spot for a coffee, doesn't it? Now I'm sure when I was researching this recently I found out some interesting information about this sign here. So it's not actually a fish and tackle shop anymore. Look, there's a greengrocer's next to the Castle Tavern, but they can't actually take the sign down because I think it's listed, so I think that's why that's still up there. And there's some nice shops around this little area at the bottom of the street. And yeah, you can see how popular the place is because there's plenty of parking here, isn't there? How much parking have we shown you today on this video? But it all does get taken up on those busy days, and we are in August, so it's still school holidays at the moment as well. Yeah, so I imagine there'll be a few holidaying around here still. Lots of these little homeware gift shops if you're into that kind of thing in Richmond. And then of course all your pubs as well. As we've mentioned, restaurants, Costa Coffee. Don't forget to explore the side streets though, because you've got little shops. It's not open today, this one, it's a Sunday. Castle Hill Bookshop, look. Lots of little shops on the side streets in the nooks and crannies, so be sure to venture off-piste. Yeah, it looks like there's an antiques and steampunk down New Road. I'm guessing that's a shop. So I just randomly walked down this little side street here, and I remember seeing this in another video I watched actually, and this little information about this narrow lane. Well, the few remaining sections of the town wall built in 1311. Yeah, it says it allowed the inhabitants to collect drinking water from springs at the Friary. Lots of history here. Just down this little lane. Also down the lane, the Fleece Hotel. So we're now making our way back down towards the station where we parked the car, and the old converted station. Just to let you know, in there is Artisan bakeries, there's a cafe in there, an art gallery I think, so there's lots to see in there as well. Yeah, I think there's also some kind of vintage cinema in there. I'll show you now what kind of films they show. Well, just the standard ones I think. But we're going to go on the walk to Easby Abbey from there, I think. Yeah, so we're heading back down there now. The views from this bridge though are absolutely stunning. Look at these. So we've now finished in Ripley town centre. We're actually walking down the river path to Easby Abbey. The road came just off near where the bridge is. There was a path that came off there. Apparently it's a circular walk of about 40 minutes. And yeah, the Abbey's free once you get there to have a look around. So this is the riverside path. We're not quite by the river, but it's still nice and peaceful and shaded on a hot day like today, so that's quite nice. And as we can see, the paths seem okay as well. Not too muddy, even though there's been a bit of rain recently. So yeah, no need for wellies, probably just walking boots, unless it's a winter's day.
I mean, in a good way at 14, it's a hard thing to get into, but actually, and because she does all that and going, I reckon she could actually do it. So I don't know how many.
I will warn you though, anything over 6 foot might not be the walk for you. I'm 6'5" and I'm getting thorns in my head. It does look like there was another path up though, so maybe that would have avoided some of these low trees. I think that might be the Abbey coming into view just over there. Look at that house up there though. Who lives there? But yeah, I think that's the Abbey coming into view. Just in the distance there, so we'll get a closer look at that. Yeah, it's fairly substantial. A lot of people there.
We just sit there and we're like, no, Liza can write. Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it? So it did look like there was some kind of wedding or something going on, so we didn't want to go too far into the ruin and disturb it. But yeah, it's still an amazing place to come, isn't it? An extra addition to your day at Richmond. But we're now going to walk along the other side of the river back towards the station car park. Hopefully we'll see some nice wildlife and things along the way. Yeah.
Boys, do you want a drink?
All the cheese, cookies, and chocolates all up there. What is that?
Hiya. No, like you ready? Like herbal tea, soft drink.
You're
Hello. Absolutely. And he takes a little pack of either 8 or 5 at the lowest percent dark chocolate for himself, while his friends have allowed to then.
So this walk that we've been doing is called the Easby-Loop, as you can probably tell from the name of the cafe we just went to. There was a really nice iced latte from there. It's nice on a hot day like this. And there was some loaded fries we got with jalapenos and stuff, and hot honey sauce. You probably saw that. But look at the views from this bridge. The Easby-Loop walk, definitely worth doing if you find yourself coming to Richmond for the day. Yeah, and as we said, that is a circular walk. I'm not a fan of walks where you have to come back the way you came, so it's good that it's circular as well. So it does look like we're coming to the end of our trip out today on exploring the north. We're coming back to the car park. Oh, there's an ice cream shop here actually. I don't know how we missed this on the way in. At the station car park, the ice cream parlour, and Outdoor seating area. And we hope you've enjoyed it. Is Richmond worth visiting from what you've seen today? We certainly think it is. It's a lovely day out and the parking wasn't dear, and there's plenty to do here. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye for now.